Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Man United agenda. This is the weekly gossip column. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Man United agenda. With me today, I have got the lovely OMONDI. How are you, OMONDI?
I'm great, Maisie. How are you doing, girl?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm looking forward to another show of the weekly gossip column. Always good fun.
Definitely. So much chat about I am hearing. So I'm ready to go in. I've got my cup of tea ready, and no thanks. But when I think about gossip, I think like all this chit chat, having a bag and a cup of tea, and having a little gossip about goings on. But yeah, we're gonna go in today, I imagine.
Yes, I can see that you've got your little secret cigar there in your back pocket, so it's all okay. We'll say hello to people who's in the chat. Hello there to Brush. Thank you for tuning in. Hello there to Niall. Yes, welcome back, Maisie, on Monday. Love Monday Night Maisie's gossip column. I absolutely love it as well. And big up as well to Connor Yank Talking Smack. Thank you for tuning in. So we will start with the first topic of the weekly gossip column, and that is Rudiger. So Rudiger, at the moment, Ralph has identified him, put him on the list for a potential new centre-back signing in the summer transfer window. For me, I really do like Rudiger in general as a player. He's quite strong. He's quite tall. He's one of them kind of centre-backs for me where I think, especially this season, he's quite an underrated centre-back, especially when he's been alongside Thiago Silva as well. So he's very well in terms of, as well, for his set pieces. We've seen a lot of him, like the Leicester game, for instance. He's done extremely well with his defending and actually scoring the goals. I think he scored about roughly around three or four goals so far this season in the Premier League. So he is definitely a centre back, what I think could actually work well alongside Varane. And of course, he's Premier League proven. So that is also a very good sign. Plus, he is on a free in this summer transfer window. What are you making of Rudiger there on Monday?
It's a good one to discuss, Maisie. Don't you think? Look, I think Rudiger, I was saying since he's come back, when Lampard dropped in, and since he's come back in, he's had something to prove, and he's proven to me to be one of the better centre backs in the league. I mean, there's maybe in the top 5-6 centre backs in the league, no doubt, in my opinion. The guy is a beast, and one-on-one, no striker. He's going to give him a hard time. He's going to pinch you. He's going to pull you. He's going to wind you up. He's going to get in your face. I love that. He's got all the mentals to sort of really up your game. And that's the kind of character you need. Likelihood is going to get sent off a couple of times, but he's a beast out there. He doesn't have it from anybody. My only issue with this is I think I don't want to get caught up in getting played for him getting a new bumper contract. He's proven he deserves a good contract from Chelsea. But I think with Chelsea, they've got Thiago Silva. He's come in and he's strolled him through in the Premiership, to be honest. He's strolled it because he's class. He's got that class about him. But they're talking about getting, I think Barcelona are going to get in their right back, Aspilicueta, and Christensen as well. So Christensen might go. Thiago Silva's a bit old. And Rudiger is like 29 maybe, getting to sort of reaching 30 now. So they're not going to have a defence left at this rate. So I wonder whether it's just a bit of... a bit of speculation that he would be signing for another club. And Ralph's pointed out a number of signs of people that he likes. But as we've proven in last January transfer window, you might say, yeah, he's good. But it doesn't mean he's going to buy them, But I think we have to do good business. And I wouldn't mind him being an addition to our club, but I'm not sure what's really going on behind the scenes. And at 29, 30, I think we got Varane and Maguire there already. That should be we're stable with those two. I know a lot of people don't criticise Maguire, but to add him, I'd rather look at another position before getting Rudiger in, even though he's a top signing. Do you agree with me? I mean, things I'm saying about him is mainly mental. His mentals are good, and you don't beat him one-on-one either. So I think it's the unspoken thing. You're talking about the goals and the stats. I think there's other sides of this game. I'm looking thinking this
mentality.
Guy, yeah.
His mentality is physical. And another thing for me, he's a leader on that pitch. You could look at him in the defense of Chelsea, and him and Thiago Silva are the definition of leadership qualities for me. So he, as I agree with you, he has got that mental mind where he can think, yes, I will get right in your mind. I will wind you up the entire game. I will get you a yellow card, and you ain't getting past me at all. And as well, it's got that role as in to say with if Chelsea letting too many goals to the defence, he will be one of the first players to speak up, to say, what are you doing? Get back in line. You better start defending a lot better. And they're two qualities what I absolutely love about Rudiger as well. I do see that we do have, of course, issues at Manchester United on that pitch. What we do need to address first, of course, the CDM. Of course, we need to look at a right wing player now and potentially even a striker, depending on what happens with Ronaldo and Cavani. But when I have looked at this season so far, we have had a fair few injuries in our centre back position. No centre back for me this season has actually been fully fit. Lindelof has been the most fittest, but he's had issues outside the pitch and outside of injuries, and why he had to not play these couple of games. So I definitely do think that a centre back is needed, but when you do look at it, he is one in that he will want 100% game time, just like Varane will want 100% game time. Maguire will want 100% game time. Even Lindelof, I think, has been brilliant this season, and he deserves more game time as well. So it'd be very difficult to see on how all that will be juggled if Rudiger will get him.
Yeah, I agree. I think the other factor we have to consider is why did Lampard sit him in the sidelines? Maybe it's a personality thing between the two of them, but he definitely didn't play him. They fell out for whatever reasons, and he had something to prove. When he came back, he proved that look, I'm a beast out here. How dare you drop me? And it made Lampard, in a way, look stupid, because they obviously went on to win the Champions League and qualified for, obviously, it came in the top 4 as well. So what's going on? So that does leave a question mark about his character. You have to manage him well. But then Ralph is German. He's German. And he's a winner. That's the thing. If your character's a winner and then you're falling out with someone who's a manager, I think it sort of reflects badly more on Lampard, that situation, than it does Rudiger. But there is a question mark. About him. But one thing he does, he gives you pace. It gives you leadership, like you said, leadership qualities. And I think when people say, is he better than Harry Maguire? Now that's a big question mark as well. A lot of people say, oh, he's quicker than him, he's a better player, whatever. But I don't think he's better, but they're on par with one another, similar age, similar abilities. And one thing they both do well, which I've seen Rudiger do, he will raid, he will get the ball and push and go and sort of attack as well, and end up in the opposition box after giving a 1-2 and look like he's going to do something, you know? I like that about the centre-backs. Centre-backs need to be adventurous like that, and he's definitely like that. It reminds me a bit of Lucio from Brazil, used to have that in his game. And he's very similar to me. Rudiger is got a lot of qualities like Lucio as well. Leader, bit mental, won't have it, and will lock down. If he's got a mission, he gets off on coming up against great strikers. Lucio used to. I remember Van Nistelrooy used to be in his pocket, and the top strikers used to be in his pocket. And I think Rudiger's got the same kind of mentality as that, you know. So good player, whether we get him or not, I'm still undecided. But if it is a free and we have to pay him like double the wage or 250 grand or 300 grand, it's worth looking at. It's worth looking at. But and so just to add as well, what you just said, I wasn't thinking, Maisie. That's why I like having you to bounce off, because I'm waffling and I'm thinking, hold on a minute, Maisie's actually right. Even though we've got Maguire and Varane, we are a big club. We do need to have 3 top centre backs, and if you scratch the surface, we're kind of struggling in that area. Bailey might not be around. Lindelof's a squad guy. He's resigned to that. And then we got the youngsters coming through, the youngsters on loan, like Mendy and whatever. So, yeah, you made a good point there. And that's why I was like, oh my God, yeah, she's right.
There is one thing what I do address about Rudiger, and the thing what I do address is the only time when I have seen Rudiger in a back 4, he hasn't played as well as what he plays in a back 3. And I do wonder, is that because of the players who he's got around him, because Thiago Silva works better as a back 3 instead of a back 4, or is it just the point that he is more suited to a back three. And if that is the case, does that mean whoever the manager is going to be in the summer, if that's Ralph going to be extending that contract, or if another manager comes in, do we have to change that formation to free out the back to suit Rudiger if he come in?
That's good observation again, Maisie. I agree. I do agree with you. But I think sometimes it's like they said that about Harry Maguire when he was under Southgate, when he came to fame in the World Cup 2018. He was playing in the back three, and it's easier. I'm a centre back. If I've got a back three with me, it's easier because you can say, boy, it's not just two of us. Someone can sweep in behind. There's always an extra man there who can back you up. I look at the case of Ben White. Ben White played in the back three with Leeds and with Brighton. And everyone was saying, he can't go to Arsenal and play in a back four. But he's done a decent job. He's done really well. It's all about partnerships. And I think if you've got the right partner with you, and when you look at Bruce and Pallister, they're two slightly different players. When you look at a prime one is Rio and Vidic. Different players, but they bring two different attributes, but they work well together. It's about building good partnerships. And I think Rudiger, if he's got a good partnership there, I don't think there's any question about it. Because to me, he's got all the attributes as a good defender. So this a guy who plays in the three at the back can't play in a two. I think it only applies to guys like maybe Luke Shaw when you put him in the back three. You're not going to put Luke Shaw in the back two,
no.
Or two at the back. Or you're not going to put the guy from Spurs who always plays the left-footed Welsh guy who sometimes plays left-footed, but he's not a centre-back, but he sometimes plays. Yeah. And Tanganga as well. Tanganga at Spurs as well. He sometimes plays. He's better in the back three, they say. I think with those guys, yeah. But Rudiger's proven as a top defender. You can see his attributes. You can see what he's good at. I think with the right partnerships, it doesn't become an issue in the back four.
Yes, 100%, and that is a great thing that you have wrote down there in terms of Rudiger. We'll go through a couple of the comments and then we'll go on to the next topic now. Niall, Maisie, as you're hosting, want to give you another special shout out. Congrats on the 500. Thank you very, very much.
Take a bow. Quality over everything. That's what we're saying here.
Thank you. And Brush said, next stop, 1K. Yep, fingers crossed. That is the next milestone. Hello there to Matthew. Thank you for tuning in. Niall said, for me, he's a leader, strong, physical, puts himself about. For me, in my opinion, he will be a great signing for Man United. Brush has said, in a back three, he is amazing. Bathtime, all right, lads. Hello there to you, Bathtime. Thank you for tuning in. Bathtime has said, nice to see OMONDI back from the Snowpiercer. Niall said, if you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button to Man United Agenda and go and subscribe to my channel, which is Devils United as well. Bathtime said, do you remember when Lindelof chased down the thief that stole somebody's bag?
No, but I do remember, who was it, the Arsenal player, the left-footed, the left back, Bosnian guy, is it Bosnian guy? The Arsenal player is left now. He done that, didn't he? He chased down a guy who was going to get robbed. But I don't know about this. If that's true, well done, Lindelof. That's what, can I just say, that's what Errol does. Errol works in a retail, in a suit shop. And often you see him flying down the Broadway, chasing thieves, getting out his shiny shoes and, boomeranging them and bring them to justice. So Lindelof, we know all about that on the Man United Agenda.
We got Seuss82 here. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for saying it's a great show. Connor has said, if he actually wants to come or not for more than 400k, I'll take him 400k or more a week. Then tell him to kick rocks. Yep, I completely agree. It is a lot of money for 400k to play a player, and he might not even play for the full amount at the full games, neither every single game. Bathtime said, when is Solo going to enable battle wars for this channel?
Another comment from Bathtime has gone over my head. I'm not. What does that mean? Bat awards, rewards, bat rewards. Is this something to do with membership or? I don't know. I will speak to Solo. I will ask him personally for you, Bathtime, because we love you.
Mm-hmm. And Bathtime said it was on his holidays in Sweden. Some old woman had a bag snatched, and Lindelof ran the thief down.
Did he slide tackle? Because he never really goes to ground.
No, he doesn't go to ground. But good on Lindelof that he did do that to help the community. We'll go on to the second topic now. So this one is more about the current Manchester United squad. Oh, speaking of the devil, Solo said, ask me what? Hello, Solo. I hope you're well. Yes, so the second topic what I'm going to address is more to do with the Manchester United current squad. One of our players who are on loan, James Garner. There is rumours at the moment that James Garner is looking at getting recalled from Nottingham Forest to help out with the midfield. Fred is going to be currently out for the Burnley game. Not too sure if he'll be out any longer than that. But he is going to be out at the moment. There is a bit of an issue with the midfield. There's only currently 4 midfielders who could play in that double pivot. So we are definitely lacking in that area. I'm looking at bringing Garner back to help in the CDM role. Some people have had mixed views on it to keep Garner on loan. Some people said, yes, bring him back. We really desperately need him. But what is your opinion on Garner coming back?
I want to hear yours as well, but for me, it's like if you send someone on loan, let him see out the course because he's playing really well. I think the main issue is he was on terrestrial TV the other day, or he's not terrestrial. I think it's a big game on Sky against Leicester for the FA Cup, and everyone's raving about it. I mean, for one, the result was really good for Forest. We've already seen them beat Arsenal on live on terrestrial TV, and he had a good game in that game. And yesterday, or was it yesterday, Monday? Yeah, yesterday or Saturday, whatever it was. They beat Leicester, like thumped them, and great. I mean, they're a real good momentum at the moment. Their right back looks good. And there's about 3 or 4 players that look good. They're all on loan. But Garner, I mean, obviously, as a Man United channel and the Man United agenda, that's the agenda right here. We have to talk about Garner because a lot of people have been saying for a long time, what's he got? Why do we send these guys out on loan? And they go out on loan and maybe they don't prove anything. But this is his second season at Nottingham Forest. He's a fan's favourite. You've talked to Forest fans. They love him. Obviously, we don't get to see him that often. I think what it is, because we've got to see 2 big games against Premiership teams, no mug Premiership team, talking about Arsenal and Leicester here, and him perform really well, that's when the question mark again comes, where people are asking, oh, Garner's ready, he's ready to go, let's bring him in. But I don't think you should spoil that. Let him continue. He's obviously settled there. He's obviously making his mark at Nottingham Forest, and then let him do his thing, because they're on a mission right now. They could even get up to the Premier League, or something. I've always said he's a nice, tidy player, 2-footed. He can spray the ball. He's comfortable on the ball, and these are the attributes I think we need as a centre midfielder. I think I was listening to Bathtime the other day, and I've had to endorse Bathtime because he's really brilliant at analysing games, and he's not afraid to give his view on games. And he was looking at the stats thing to say why Donny shouldn't be in the side, for example. And some of the stats were saying his defensive abilities weren't good. But I don't think these stats really tell the whole story. I think with Garner, if you look at the way he plays, he intercepts, he reads the game well. And his distribution is much better, I think, than McTominay. He's far more comfortable with McTominay and Fred on the ball, passing the ball. And he's a cultured kind of player. But people say, oh, well, he's not physically good enough. But this is old school. This is like dark age mentality that we have in grassroots football. If you've got to be 6 foot tall at 15 to make it, that kind of thing. He is good enough. And he's getting great education at Forest. And next season, in the summer, he will come back and he will be given, from 2 years service, he will be given an opportunity at Manchester United to come into that side. But we don't want him to kill his vibe, him to come back and sit on the bench. We don't want to bring him back halfway through the season after he's blowing out there, doing his thing, friends with his teammates, living a life, and to come back and ruin all that for him to sit on the bench, because that's what's going to happen, So for me, it's a big no. I don't know what you think, Maisie, but I'm not having it. Garner's got to stay in Nottingham Forest and do his.
I completely agree with you, to be fairly honest. Garner last season, he was absolutely brilliant. I know he was at Watford for the first half of last season. He wasn't getting that game time there at Watford, so he did move to Nottingham Forest second half of the season, done absolutely brilliantly. And then what happened was he come on loan again, and he's thriving all over again. And he is managing in this FA Cup to show Manchester United that he can beat Premier League clubs. He has knocked Arsenal out of the FA Cup. He has knocked out Leicester out the FA Cup. And them 2 clubs are considered two of the biggest clubs in the Premier League. So to manage to knock them 2 players out, and he is contributing, especially for the Leicester game, to get that assist for that 3rd goal, it just shows that he's doing absolute wonders. The Nottingham Forest manager is doing well in terms of his development. I would personally continue to leave him there for his development and let him come in, see how he gets on in pre-season, start the season, and if, for example, maybe he isn't getting that game time, he isn't getting in well with the team, he isn't working that well, then we can probably consider looking at loaning him nearer to the end of the transfer window. So we don't need to make a rash decision regarding Garner. But I do personally think if Ralph probably was the manager at the start of last season, I actually believe that Garner probably would have stayed at Manchester United.
That's interesting. That, I mean, this is what I say. The people look, Garner can do it all. You got to have good players around you. I don't care about this. You need to have two killers in midfield or destroyers in midfield. Yep. You need to have ball players, intelligent players who know how to read the game and field. This is what Garner does. So I do think, the qualities that you're looking at, the positives, is that he can play football, and this is what we need. And whether it's, you look at the guys, Will Hughes in Premiership. He's been a Premiership player for a long time now. He can play football. Conor Gallagher can play football. There's a lot of young guys. Even the guy at Man City, left-footed guy who's playing for England under 21s. He's been getting a lot of football this year. Left-footed, Palmer.
Yeah, Cole Palmer.
Yeah, Paul Palmer, baller, really nice, talented ball. But no one's talking about him. Oh, he can't tackle. He can't do the press or whatever. I think it's all about the team and the shape, and not just about, oh, can he run through brick walls, or can he, is he physical enough? Can he bench 500 pounds in the gym? That's not, to me, that's not about it. It's about the team, the shape, and balance, that kind of thing. So I think you could play Garner and Donny in midfield, for example. When Ralph first turned up, I remember when he's doing the 4-2-2-2, he played a game against young boys. He put Mata and Donny in midfield. And these aren't enforcers. These aren't guys who you can say, oh, they're going to press or tackle or that kind of thing. These are guys who are good footballers. Firstly, that's the main thing. Look at the Ajax model. Look at the Pep Guardiola at Barca and Man City model. It's football first. Physicality will come with it. But the shape and everything will cancel all that out, whether you're physical or not. Man City, proof of that. Barcelona under Pep, proof of that. They got Iniesta's. Iniesta's comes to my waist in height. The Xavi's even shorter. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's not about physicality, because these guys dominate games on football first, and that's the way we should go forward. People like Garner.
Yes, we definitely do need intelligent players there, especially in that midfield, because the midfield in itself gets exposed massively in games, and you do notice that a lot. And I think when you do have at least one intelligent midfielder, that other midfielder is able to work well then with the original players. So I think it will work extremely well to have at least one intelligent midfielder, if that is going to be Garner in the summer, or if that we're going to bring in another midfielder.
Sorry, just to add, for me, the best defense. All right, so getting these guys in destroyers and can run and do the press or whatever people might want. But the best defense, in my opinion, is keeping the ball. And when you got the ball, they're not going to score against you. So that's why I encourage better players like this, Hannibals, the Zidans, the Garners, who are ball players. And when you keep the ball more often than not, you're likely and you're controlling the game. And this is what Ralph is all about. So you need these kind of players to come in. And maybe Donny will come back, or Pogba. It's great to see him back. You can see he's got that element to his game as well. He will keep the ball, and then we stop being counted on, and we stop giving the ball away, and we create more chances. As we've seen in the last game, I know we lost, but we did create more chances. So we slowly get, as Ralph said the other day, we are creating more chances, and that's from having better players. And I think, but I'm keep reverting back to Bathtime, but I think he's brilliant. But he said about Bruno dropping deeper and having more ball retention, and it giving us more opportunity to control games and score more goals. So yeah, I'm for football first and destroyers for Championship and Division 1.
Exactly. And what I was thinking as well, if we did have James Garner there in the summer, we could probably try and use a 4-3-3, which is my preferred formation. It's a lot more balanced, so I think he gives that balance there for Bruno to work alongside him, and another midfielder, if that is going to be Paul Pogba extending his contract, or if that is Donny or Fred or McTominay. I just think it provides a lot more balance in the midfield altogether.
Big time.
We'll go through a couple more of the comments, and then we'll go on to the final topic. Matthew says to leave Garner alone. Niall said he impressed me at Forest yesterday. Yes, he definitely did impress me as well at Forest. Solo has said, leave him alone, let him see it out, as he will only come back to be on the bench. Absolutely correct. If we do bring him back, he needs to get these guaranteed games because it's just going to ruin his development otherwise.
So true.
Niall said he assisted in one of the goals. He is a fan fave at Forest. I think next season could be his breakthrough at Man United. At the end of the day, for me, he looks ready for the next season. Bathtime said Garner doesn't win the ball at Forest. The player we need is Harry Winks.
Good player.
Niall said Steve Cooper has really helped Garner. Absolutely correct. Bathtime said what Garner is good at is keeping and the progressing the ball. He can't and isn't asked to win the ball with interceptions or duels. Very interesting.
The thing is, but he does. He can and he does. It's all about timing. He does. He can do that. But if you look at the stat chart, obviously it's about the team. I think the balance of the team. If you're keeping the ball, all that kind of thing, there's less time. You're going to have less stats about interceptions and everything else because you've got the ball more often.
Rebel is in the chat. Hello to Rebel. I hope you well. Looks like Ralph may have been listening to you and your brother on Monday. He mustn't have agreed with your argument.
Big up Rebel.
And he has also said that we have enough in midfield and is bringing Garner back. Andrew's in the chat as well. Hello to Andrew. All right, people. My opinion on James Garner is another red herring. I watched the championship religiously and he is decent, but he isn't going to come in and transform us into prime Barcelona. If we ever do, which is obviously extremely unlikely, it is always going to be a big, massive build-up for that, and we can't rely on that one player to give us that lead to be a prime Barcelona, unfortunately. Bathtime said, I don't think you can play someone like Garner in a team that has Bruno, with Bruno losing the ball and leaving the space all the time. You need cover, and Garner, I think, can't do that, as well as another midfielder. Red Bull has said, maybe not Andrew, but he's a player that can bring back, could provide the cover. Andrew, United obsessed with people who are in our books and not in the team and think they are missing the link between us and world domination. Who's Garner equivalent at City, Gundogan levels? Bathtime, do you want me to show you the stats on Monday for Garner this season compared to midfielders in the Championship?
My point is, we'll discuss it offline. But yeah, my point is this: it's a simple game. Keep the ball, then you're going to have less stats about interceptions and tackling and recovery tackles, all that kind of thing. It's a team game. It's not just about individual stats. You know, if you're playing in a good team, for example, you got the ball and you're dominating the game and controlling the game, which Ralph wants us to do, then you're going to have the stats will be all over the place. It's hard to assess. Let's do the eye test. That's my original thing. Do the eye test and let's have a good observation on the pitch about what teams are doing, not just individual players. You're saying there about Bruno giving the ball away, but this is his role. He's playing high at the pitch. He's the one who's supposed to set things up. He's the one who's supposed to be creative. So if he does give it away, where people are not making the right runs or things, because he does play good football, he does play a lot of good penetrative passes. It's just people need to be on the page. As a team, we need to combine and be compact and have backup for every situation. And I think that's where the coach comes in. And I'm happy with Ralph to do that. Give it time and the balance will be there.
We'll go on to the final topic now, and that is Declan Rice. So Manchester United are now going into, as we would say, bidding war with Chelsea to look at buying Declan Rice in the summer. For me, I would say Declan Rice is probably easily top 10 best defensive midfielders in the world. I think he's absolutely brilliant, and every single game I have been seeing of Declan Rice, he just seems to be improving. And for me, I haven't seen too many bad games this season so far of Declan Rice. He's very well defensively. He's good at going forward. For me, it just seems like an absolute rock in that West Ham midfield. And when you do look at him for England, he has that tournament experience. He has cup competition experience, being in the FA Cup, being in the Carabao Cup, and he's got European experience, being in the Europa League. So he will be definitely a shout. I would have for Declan Rice. The only issue I have two issues here with Declan Rice. For one is the price tag. I think we won't go for minimum 80 million. And if we do pay 80 million for a Declan Rice, what does that mean for the rest of the squad? Does that mean that we're going to have to panic buy and buy someone for less, so much less cheaper, who isn't going to make that impact, and we could struggle in other ways? Or are we just not going to invest altogether in other areas of the pitch what we should be investing in? And another one is he's only played so far in a double pivot. If we are looking at going as a 4-3-3, or if we look in different positions, or if we do like a 3-4-4, for instance, or diamond formation, would Declan Rice be able to fit in straight away into a brand new formation?
Look, Rice has been on the cards for a number of seasons now, and he just continues to impress. I think they were close to coming out the cup the other day. He comes on, shows a lot of character and grit, and gets them back in the game. And he scored, didn't he? He actually scored. And this is a guy who we think is sit back sort of destroyer, but he's not. He's got a lot more elements to his game than that. I think when you look at Man United, we are supposed to be the dominant club in England, and what we used to do is sort of buy Rooney, top English young player, Carrick, top English young player. This is what we do, you know. We sort of identify these players because they're really essential. They give you something else. I mean, I know someone like Gerrard. If you look at Steven Gerrard, how crucial he was for Liverpool, what he'd done for Liverpool, he was a legend because he loved the club. He stayed with the club, and he gave it an extra that maybe some players coming from abroad might not be able to give you because they don't have that association with British football or with the club, for example. Declan Rice said some really promising things after we played them recently about Man United, and just makes you think, okay, if you read between the lines, it could mean that he maybe is interested. And for me personally, I think he is the right sort of player to identify. I watched Juve the other day. They had two debuts in Vlahovic and the Zakaria, the guy that we were looking at. And Zakaria actually scored. He played the game and scored the goal for them. And I'm thinking, is there going to be backlash now? Will people be saying, why didn't we get this guy? But I'm thinking, no, if we're being smart now, which I think we are being with our transfers, sensible kind of transfers, I think we have to identify who we want, why we want them for the right reasons, not just get numbers in. You have to get the right player in. I think Rice ticks the boxes. He's English. He's a very impressive. I'm not raving about him just yet. I haven't got his poster up on my wall just yet. But as watching football, I do like him. And I think he gives you a lot. And he would be a great addition to our first team. That's the point. Zakaria might be a great addition to our squad. This guy is a great addition to your first team. And if you have to pay over the odds for the English tax or whatever you say, I think it's worth it because his character is what's shining through. And I think that's something, as with Gerrard, as with Brian Robson, Keane, all this kind of thing. He shows that kind of character. Don't get me wrong, we're not putting him on that pedestal just yet, but I'm saying these are the factors that you can't sort of always get in a player. You know, you can have someone like, look at Anderson, who came over from Porto for us. He was a very technical, very good player, but he didn't have the sort of maybe mentals that we're referring to when we're talking about Brian Robson, Declan Rice, and Keane, for example. I like what he's given us. Given West Ham, he's taken them up. They're overachieving. You have to be honest, they are overachieving. If you look at their squad, and I think he's a major part of that. So when it's talking about him linking to our club, I think, I'm definitely for it. If it means not signing someone in January and then we go ahead and get him, then everyone will be satisfied, I believe. So I'm all for Rice.
I am all for Rice as well, but I do also question to myself, if we do buy Declan Rice, and we all know how Manchester United are in getting rid of players, is near enough impossible. Once you're in, you can never come back out. But I do look at, if we paid 80 to 120 million for Declan Rice, does that mean that other areas are not going to get invested in? Because I feel like we need a right back. I feel like we need a right wing player. We need a striker as well, depending on what's going to happen in the summer.
Yeah, you say this, but then I think it's all about balance. What makes a good side? I mean, you look at the 1990s, the early 2000s for us, we had the balance of signing the odd top player and then balancing that with youth players who have that same desire as the class of 92. All the class of 92, look at Nicky Butt, for example. Yep. I mean, he would get in there, he would get himself dirty, he would even get himself sent off for the cause. That's what it meant to us. That's why we're so successful. We need that. We need to get fans behind our players again. And it's always great when you've got homegrown talent coming through. I'm not saying Garner. I mean, I'm saying there's a world of players out there. You talk about right back, we've got the guy Lerd on loan. We've got to talk about, so there's players there. It's just about getting the opportunity and seizing it. It's the problem that we're having. And another thing I'd say, just quickly about this, about the balance. I think when you look at the investment you put into the youth academy, that kind of thing, we put a lot into that. You're not always guaranteed that you're going to get like a class 92 or the Busby Babes come through. You're going to get 1 or 2 players every generation come through a top class. You look at Trent, you look at Phil Foden. That's 2 players. And look how many players have come through their systems at Man City and Liverpool, for example. Not everyone's going to make it. So Garner might be a squad player at the end of it. Lingard was always a squad player for us, but he's a good Premiership player. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's about getting that balance. And we've got high expectations, but give them more opportunity and you're more likely to see these players develop and come through at our club. So whether we buy Rice and then we think, we're not covered in other areas, I don't think that's a problem. I think we're a big club. We can get Rice in and get another striker in and fill other positions where we think. Lastly, Ralph said today that let me just get my notes, just to back this up, because I don't want to quote him without thing. So Ralph was saying a complete overhaul of the squad is not required. There's signs of improvement. So it's not. So when we say, transfer, we're going to go spend. We're going shopping. Let's get credit cards. Let's go shopping, girls. When you think about things like that, it doesn't always have to be the case. One good signing would maybe be the catalyst to making us a better side.
Mm-hmm. We definitely do need to make at least that one very good signing. People who you would consider a brilliant player, but I think we definitely need to offload on a few players as well. So they'll be interested to see on what will happen in that summer transfer window. And this is why I'm actually so glad we have got Ralph so we can move up to that consultancy role, and knowing how smart he is, how intelligent he is as a manager up in the boards as well, how he's identified all these young players too. I think we could easily be very smart in our transfer business in many years to come.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you're endorsing Ralph. I think we all are now. I think we have to get behind him. This is what I'm saying. He's a proper manager, as in all levels. He's done all levels of management throughout the structure of a football club. And at the moment, he's just highlighting what he can do as a coach. We're seeing slight improvements. And obviously, if he does go upstairs, if he doesn't stay as coach or manager, and he does go upstairs, we expect him to perform well there too. Whether there's rumours about bringing other guys in like Edwin van der Sar or Mark Overmars or whatever, these big names. But we've got someone at the club now who can identify, and I don't think he's got a huge ego where he would say if he might feel someone's better for us at the club, he might say, well, I'll take a step back. He hasn't got the ego because he's never managed a big club before. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's not got that ego. I need to go out and prove myself or win this, win that. I think that's what I rate about the man. And then you got the Ten Hag at the moment. He's coming out and saying it might be his last season at Ajax. So it's all
and Van der Sar as well. Van der Sar's another one.
Oh, well, there you go. So it's all building up. Who knows what's going to happen? We can only speculate. This is why we all tune into the transfer gossip show, because it's all about speculation. But we could be proved right. A lot of people are steering towards Ajax coach as the next manager, for example, and it's looking that way. Who knows? We could even go in for a £77 million Haaland, for example. Who knows? That plus 80 million for Rice, that's good business, and that gives you things. So who knows what's going to happen? But have faith in Ralph, everybody, because I think good things are in store.
Definitely. We'll finish off with this final question here from Matthew. How many players do you think we'll buy in the summer? I think we'll probably sign around 2 or 3.
Wow, took the words out of my mouth, Maisie. Why do you say that? Because I was going to say 2 or 3. Why are you saying that?
Especially knowing that Ralph is coming into this consultancy role, I think he's wanting to address the midfield situation. So I think that is going to be the main key what he will look at. And I think depending on what is going on in the future of Manchester United, I think another 2 additions might get made. I think a striker, if for instance Cavani does sign an extension, and depending on what is going on with Ronaldo, and I think that they may potentially sign a Paul Pogba replacement as well if Paul Pogba doesn't extend.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. 2 or 3. I think that a sign of a good club and good management is just 2 or 3. Look what Arsenal done. They got, who was it? Ben White. Who else?
Tomiyasu was another one.
Tomiyasu and Norwegian.
Ramsdale.
Oh yeah, Ramsdale. So there's 3 signings, and they've gone from 8th place to challenging for 4th. So it's just 3 sensible signings can really make a difference. You don't have to go out and spend like buy half a squad. It doesn't make sense, you know. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Great minds think alike, Maisie.
Definitely. We'll wrap it up here. I just want to say thank you so much to OMONDI. Thank you for coming on the weekly gossip column. It's been brilliant to discuss all 3 of the topics. Man United agenda, we will be next live at 8 o'clock. We'll be doing a preview for the Burnley game, so stay tuned and you will see that very, very soon in the next 20 minutes. Everyone, please hit the like and subscribe button to the Man United agenda. But until 8 o'clock, we'll see you all very, very soon. Goodbye for now.
Bye-bye.